Welcome to another edition of Sprout Central. I'm Dennis Tynes, I'm your host. And last week we had a really important show. We had a great guest who talked about stepping into 2021 like a boss, Catherine Sutton. And she had a lot of great advice. And she's got a video conference coming up if you want to join it. Follow Cat on the Coast on Instagram and check it out. It's got some really good advice on some steps you can take now to make sure you set and reach the goals you want to reach for your life. Kind of what this show is about. We help people take their dreams and build a community. That's our motto. So last week was a really important show, and this week we've got a really good, innovative guest that started something that the Gulf Coast really needs. And we're going to tell you about that in just a second. But first, we have a big Sprout announcement. You know, we started this show helping people learn to write their business plan. We brought in people, different business people, helped them write their business plan and gone through the process with them, and we have our first success story. We have a Sprout that's made their first sale, so we're gonna have a big success story on the show coming right up. Okay, but our guest, we've got a great guest. If you've never heard of Red Radio Productions, Scott and Mandy Andersen started this show about local musicians. They've got live interviews with local musicians. They record shows and they air the shows for you. And they've got a really good program coming up, I think on December 21st. Their second program of local musicians playing live concerts and getting some backstory. So don't miss that. We'll be right back with our first success story right after this.
Let's put our heads together on a great staycation. Berry Creek Cabins in nearby Bogalusa, Louisiana is your wilderness staycation headquarters. Cozy cabin lodging for 4 to 12 people with modern amenities, kitchens, relaxing porches, fishing, and a 2,700 square foot party deck pavilion. Call 985-730-4395 or berrycreekcabins.com. Berry Creek Cabins is family staycation headquarters.
Okay, we're back, and we've got Joey back as our co-host today. Welcome to Sprout Central, Joey.
Man, it's great to be here, Dennis.
The Sprout Central DAP, as usual.
Yeah, I think we pioneered that.
I was telling the folks at home that you remember we help people write the business plan, right?
Yep, I do remember. Put together those graphics.
You made
really
the graphics,
involved in the whole process.
Came to the rehearsals, and we talked about telling people how to write the business plan. Well, we've got people writing business plans and starting businesses now.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty
I'm
awesome.
saying the show's a big success. I can't wait to hear what corporate has to say about that.
Me neither.
Today, we've got our first success story on the show.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
It is cool. It's very cool.
Okay, so I don't know, we've got the Red Radio Productions group.
I'm excited to hear from them. Like
that's going to be cool.
That is so cool. I mean, it's something that it's putting us on the map. You know, having our own radio station. It's on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I can't wait to hear more about where exactly it is you get to hear it. But
it's going to be across a lot of platforms, and if you want to watch it, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you're going to be able to watch it. And we've got great music from the coast. Have you noticed, a lot of great bands have come from the coast and from Mississippi.
Yeah, Mississippi puts out a lot of really good music. And the local
Elvis
bands.
is from Mississippi.
He is. A lot of people don't know that. They think he's from Tennessee
roll.
And stuff. But yeah, he's from here.
Yep, he's from Mississippi.
Yeah. So our success story. We got to talk about the success story. I'm bursting at the seams to talk about the success story. I know, we're just
goofing around, but we've got a big successful business. I heard, and I don't know the details of it. You said you've got that.
I do. I have that scoop.
They made their first sale, so they wrote their business plan. They got their business license. They picked a space out. They fixed it up, and now they made their first sale. Success story. I bet that was easy for them too. It's easy to start a business.
It's super easy to start a business, and I should know because I am the success story.
What?
Yeah, it's our creative space. We have made our first sale, and we're open for business. So it's pretty exciting stuff.
So you've made your first sale.
Made our first sale. Yes, sir, we did.
Fantastic.
And it's funny. We were talking a bit before about how easy it is to start a business, which is that it's not. And a lot of people get to a certain point and they're like, they start hitting so many roadblocks because the business plan and coming up with all the conceptualization is such a taxing process to go through. So you get so wrapped up in what you want to do and how exactly you want to do it, then you start hitting speed bumps and road bumps, like, you know, maybe you don't get as much funding as you intended to, or maybe the build out takes a little bit longer than you expected. And but once you get to a certain point and you're ready to go and pull the trigger on a location, there are even more obstacles to overcome. And I didn't know any of the stuff that I'm about to share with you guys at home, so I wish that there was like this breakdown so that I would have known, because I had to reverse engineer it. I mean, I went through, I hit every speed bump at 100 miles an hour and nearly destroyed the whole process because it was so frustrating. And if I had known the order in which to do things, it would have all been so much smoother and so much easier. So starting out,
okay, what was the big key mistake you made after you got your, okay, so what did you do? You leased a place.
So we signed the lease with the people, and we're like, okay, that was easy, you know. Now we need to go and just get the power turned on so we can start working on it. So we go to the power company and we show up and we're like, hi, we're a business and we need power. And they're like, what's your business ID? And we're like, what? You want what? What is it? What is that? You know? So we're just like, well, I'll just turn it on in my name, you know, like, whatever. But no, it doesn't work that way. You have to have a business ID. So we're like, well, who do you get that from? And they were like, well, I don't know. We ask that to people and they come in and bring it. So we sit there and we Google it and like, oh, okay, we got to go to the Secretary of State and submit some, you know, paperwork or whatever. So we do that. We submit the paperwork and we go back to the power company and we have our business ID. And they're like, all right, well, the unit number that you gave us is wrong, or the unit letter. So we thought it was Unit C because we didn't even really ask the people. We didn't ask our landlords because we figured, well, it's right next to B. There's A, there's B, there's blank, and then there's blank, and then there's like, you know, something else down there. So we were like, it's got to be C, right? Because I think the one down there, it follows the sequential order. By the time we got to there and we counted, it made sense that would be C. Well, it turned out that was D, and the one next to it was E instead of like, it was ridiculous. So
you ever hear the old saying, the devil is in the details?
Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
when you're starting a business, the devil is in the details.
Absolutely. So that was, you know, another obstacle that we had to overcome. But we got the business ID, we got the power turned on, and they tell us that, oh, well, you need to have a fire inspection for us to turn the power on. So we get the fire inspector to come out there, and the guy, it had been such a weekend. Like, I mean, because we were doing all this throughout the week because my girlfriend, who I started the business with, works 4 days a week, and I work 4 days a week, and our off days only line up for like 2 days. So we had only 2 days of the week, and one of them was Saturday. So it was like Friday and Saturday, we're trying to get everything accomplished. And then Monday, I'm like, all right, cool, well, I'm going to go and take care of all this. And they're like, yeah, you don't have what you need. You got to get the fire inspection, this, that, the other. And so the fire inspector's there, and we're trying to get the power turned on, and he looks at me, and he's like, well, I can't authorize the power to get turned on because of this, that, the other. And I was just like, you know, I mean, we had to strip the floors, we had to paint the walls, we had to do so much stuff to that building to get it ready. All we needed was the power to get started so that we could, and it was going to be another week. And he was like, tell you what.
You did a lot of things out of order. And we're going to when we come back, we're going to tell them the right order to do things and help people not fall into any pitfalls when they start their business, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll be right back after this.
Nathan Prescott here from Law Focus. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all the good stuff. We look forward to 2021, and thank you for joining us in 2020.
Okay, we're back, and we've been talking to Joey about how to get things right after you get your business plan done and your money together and you're ready to start your business. So we're going to talk about that some more, Joey. Yeah. A step-by-step kind of process, maybe? Have you written a book? Or
I made a graphic for it. Clarence, okay. Why don't you toss that graphic up real quick? So I wrote this out here so that people will know. So I started, like I said, I reverse engineered it. I started with going to try to get my fire inspection because I needed to get into the business, and I thought that that's what I needed to get started. But all these things that I actually needed could have been taken care of because it's a lot of stuff that you do online. So a lot of this stuff could have been taken care of before I actually went and tried to get my fire inspection. So the business ID, you got to go to your Secretary of State's website and register your business.
Step one,
Step
get a
one.
business ID.
Yeah, get a business ID. Register your LLC or your partnership or whatever it might be. Register yourself with the Secretary of State, get your business ID so that you can then go and get your federal employer identification number from the IRS. And again, it's like irs.gov. You can do all this stuff on the websites. Google
Online,
websites.
you can go do this.
Right. So you get your federal employer identification number, also called the FEIN, and you'll use that to go to your state's Department of Revenue. So you go from the internal revenue, which is the federal level, to the state level.
Right.
Then you get your state tax ID from that department. So you'll need that state's tax ID regardless of what kind of business you're operating. You know, if you're trying to operate a bar, you'll need to get other licenses, other sales or other tax permits, including like your liquor permit or your beer and whatever. But if you're trying to open, what I was doing, all we needed was a retail sales tax permit. So I had to get that. So again, it's a pretty universal up until that point, and then the retail sales tax permit was for me. If you're doing something else, you'll need to figure out what it is that you need, but it's all on the website. You can look through it and figure it out. So once you have all that stuff, then you can go and you'll get your fire inspection because you'll have your business ID, you'll have your location, and once you get yourself up to code, you'll already have your retail sales tax permit, because this was another problem. I got myself up to code, I went to get my certificate of occupancy, and they tell me, oh, well, you can't get a certificate of occupancy without a retail sales tax permit. And I was like, well, I don't even know what that is. So I had to get that, and that's where I went back and I got my state tax ID. So it was like I went backwards and I jumped around through all these different things, but it's a really simple process if you know what you're doing, which is get your business ID, get your FEIN, get your state tax ID. Then you can get whatever certification you need. For me, it was the retail sales tax permit. Get your fire inspection, and then once you have that done, you get your certificate of occupancy, and you can be open.
And you're open for business.
And that all could take, a week to 2 weeks, if depending on what it takes you to get up to code with the fire inspection. It took me 6 months because I had no idea what I was doing, and every time I'd go to get one thing, I'd get bumped back to get something else first.
Okay, but now you're open. You're going to have people coming there, so you have to have the fire department check it out and make sure that you're safe.
Right.
Maybe you have to have a fire alarm or anything like that.
You have to have a fire extinguisher and emergency exit lights.
And emergency exit lights.
Yeah.
Okay. So you started your silversmith shop then, right? It's called Simpson Smithy. Is that what it is?
So it's not anymore. I know that was the business plan. That's what we did, was all that, but it's evolved. So my girlfriend came in as a partner with me. She's also a silversmith.
Okay, so in order to enable your business, you found somebody you could work with, and you formed a partnership, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So
that's great.
And it's now called Our Creative Space. And so it's about 1,100 square feet. The building is a little under 1,100 square feet. Our silversmith studio is only about 100 square feet. So we have about 1,000 square feet available for artists of every variety to come in and do their thing. I mean, we're going to be hosting workshops. So instead of building out a solid construction 12-station desk like I had planned on doing, we now have folding tables and some chairs that aren't folded. They're nice chairs. So the space is a lot more modular. So we can open it up to have music shows or poetry readings or round table discussions or whatever we want to do, as well as having table space available. We have a wire wrap artist who's going to be leading workshops, a ceramicist who's going to be leading workshops. I'm going to be doing creative writing workshops. We're trying to find a visual artist to host paint.
So you're looking for a visual artist now to come in?
We are looking for a visual artist.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Folks, if you know a visual artist who wants to teach a class?
Lead a workshop.
Lead a workshop. Right into the show or call into the show and ask for Joey.
Yeah, for sure, because we are definitely, we've got a couple people that we're talking to, but we're looking to host as many as possible workshops, that is, to have a wide variety of styles that people can come in and emulate. Okay. So, which is one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to hearing from this next guest, because they're kind of doing the same thing that we're trying to do, which is give a platform to musicians. So we're doing it with visual artists, but I really want to work with collaborating with them to offer shows, to have them host their artists, at our location, because we could probably fit 50 to 60 people in there, pretty comfortably, with the band too.
So you want to give artists a platform in the community so they can kind of grow, and then be able to sell their own stuff.
Exactly.
That's neat. That really does go hand in hand with the Red Radio Productions guests that we have today. They're showing concerts. They're filming their own concerts. And they're doing artist interviews and other interesting things. And we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be right back with Scott and Mandy Andersen of Red Radio Productions. So come on back and join us after the break.
Let's meet Dr. Lauren Timmons. Dr. Lauren Timmons, practicing dentistry here in Ocean Springs. Welcome to
Thank you.
the show. Now, let's talk about the machine that allows you to do an implant and a new tooth in one visit.
Okay, there's two parts. There's a 3D X-ray machine, which is relatively new to dentistry. We take a 3D X-ray and we're able to design the implants in a three-dimensional X-ray. And then there is a CEREC machine, which we're able to mill out and design crowns to go on top of those implants.
And so literally a person can break the tooth off, come in, have the tooth extracted, have a new implant put in and the tooth screwed in, and walk out with a new tooth in the same day.
Correct, with the crown on the implant in one visit.
That would have been considered probably a miracle 10 years ago. Right?
Impossible.
Impossible.
Right.
Well, thank you for being here in Ocean Springs with us, and I hope everyone will come to see Dr. Lauren Timmons in Ocean Springs.
Thank you, Ed.
Okay, we're back, and we've got Scott and Mandy Andersen with Red Radio Productions on the show. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks, sir.
Can we reach out there? The Sprout Central DAP. So now we've got a place to listen to live music on, a radio station dedicated to what? Local musicians?
Yeah, not only musicians, but artists, the performing arts in general. We'll be having bands, artists, we'll have tattoo artists, dancers. We're going to have...
we want to try to incorporate all the arts within the
In general.
program, but with a heavy focus on the music.
Right.
Yes, music will definitely be a big part of it.
Yeah.
So Red Radio Productions, it's like an online radio station then, right?
Yes, it's streaming. It's a video podcast, and we do once a month show on Facebook Live, and it'll also be on YouTube.
Also be on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So how was the first show? Who did you have on your first show?
We had a musical acts for
Party at the Moon Tower.
Party at the Moon Tower.
Michael Ross.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, your buddy. Had Party at the Moon Tower. We had Della Memoria,
Yeah.
and that was it for the musically. That was it, and we also had.
I don't even remember. That felt like so long
yeah,
ago.
it was a lot of work.
Yeah, once
It's a
we
lot of
get
work
like we
to make
dreamed
a
the whole
production.
thing.
You know,
Yeah.
we do a weekly TV show here, and it's a lot of work to come in and do this. And you know, we're doing it to try to help the community and help people, motivate people to start businesses like you guys are doing. What motivated you to start this?
Well, being a musician here locally, I noticed there's a shortage of original music venues. So
Right.
I wanted to help push original music. I couldn't afford a venue or a music hall, but I figured I could at least start a Facebook page, help
in my
people.
living room.
All right, and start this thing up in the living room. But help push local bands by even just sharing flyers or YouTube videos, whatever they have. And I was hoping to eventually do something like live from Daryl's house, maybe have the bands over to my house on the back
Right.
porch or whatever and jam out. And maybe once a year I'll put on like the Red Radio Fest, which hasn't happened yet, but I plan on making that happen soon enough. Maybe
maybe
get
that
those
could
bands to
be
come perform.
A part of the you know, we're bringing the Sun and Sand Film and Music Festival.
Man, that's
back.
awesome.
And we're looking for partnerships like yours, so maybe
That'd be
could
great.
a thing. But I heard that you actually have bands come to your house.
Yep.
You mic the band up and you record whatever it is you're going to put on your show right there in your living room. Is it the living room or the garage?
Oh yeah, it's the living
It's the
room, so we
living
have to
room.
move couches and everything.
Yeah.
And they also have to work around. We got a dachshund, we got a dog roaming around the set the whole time, so there's a lot of safety hazards you can trip on, all kinds of stuff in my house. So you got to sign a waiver before you come in.
It always looks like a wreck.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
as soon as everybody gets all the equipment up and all the wires are wrapped up, then we're like, okay. Like last night we were like, okay, we can breathe again.
It's chaos, but it works out in the end.
It
So
looks,
you guys planned this, you know, the first show, you planned it and you've already implemented that show.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought bands into the living room and recorded them. What else did you do?
So
We had Chaz.
back to the first episode, you're asking not only musicians and artists, but people that work in the industry.
Right.
We had cinematographer Chaz Singleton come on from Astro Clown Productions and he did an interview, and we, I think, put up some of his work. And it's funny, it's good networking too. Like through Chaz, we met one of the artists coming up is going to be Daltenius, who we recorded yesterday. He does work with Chaz, and we had him on yesterday, and he's going to do a couple of songs, did an interview on the 21st.
We'll air it on the 21st.
So you have a new show coming out, and it's December 21st.
Yep.
Yes, 8 o'clock.
Right.
Hopefully.
At 8 o'clock. And is it live?
It's live with
Yeah.
some pre-production elements to it. We like to really have the bands sound as best as we can get them. So we pre-produce all the band video. And then that way we'll just air that like a playlist, and we have our host, Mitchell, and Mitchell will do the interviews with our artists live. And we like to try to have some sort of, some streaming elements of their artwork so that we have that playing over the interview.
Okay, so you've got the next show on the 21st planned out, and we'll talk more about that. We'll probably take a quick break here in just a few minutes and talk more about exactly, what that is, how you can tune in, and that sort of thing. So what does the future look like, though? Do you guys, you plan to continue doing this every month, or how does that look?
Yeah, for the moment it's going to be once a month, just because that's what life allows at the moment, and we're still cutting our teeth on this and figuring things out.
Learning a whole
So this
lot.
is about all we can handle at the moment.
Right.
But we're going to keep, I hope, building and growing, getting better equipment, getting bigger acts coming through.
We have
Maybe we can
plans
catch some bands
for-
on tour, get them to come to the house,
Right?
something like that.
It's a lot of great music on the Gulf Coast from here, and a lot of great people pass through. Maybe you can get a grab.
Definitely,
Yeah.
and
have
again,
some
I'd
of
like to
these
do the
big guys
festival,
on.
maybe get that going.
And work with us on the Sun and Sand Film and Music
For
Festival.
sure.
We're
That'd be
supposed to have
awesome.
Billy Bob Thornton on that. So we'll be right back with more from Red Radio Productions, Scott and Mandy Andersen, right after this message.
Hello everyone, Nathan Prescott here from Law Focus. Just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. I look forward to running through the law and how it affects you in 2021.
Okay, we're back with Red Radio Productions with Scott and Mandy Andersen. We're talking about, they've got a show coming up on the 21st. So what's the big lineup for December 21st? Is it the big Christmas special?
No.
We're having a Christmas extravaganza here for
Yeah.
the Christmas on the Sprout Central.
We would kind of try to keep it to where it's not so much seasonal, but to where it's, somebody could watch it and pick it up at another time and be able to see it and not go, oh, that was the Christmas special.
Right.
You might see my Christmas tree though.
Yeah, I think it ended up
In
in
the
a
back,
couple of
yeah.
shots, and some Christmas lights and stuff.
Since it's recorded in your living room.
Right.
Just,
Right.
And during Mardi Gras, it could be the Mardi Gras tree if you just want to leave it up.
No, yeah, and that's what we do, or the Saints tree.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
The next show we have Fun K Getaway, band out of Ocean Springs. We have Daltenius, Zach Perkins coming on.
There's
We have Raven and Rose Tattoo, Josh and Mary Hankins.
Yep, husband-wife team.
Dane and Dreho's photographer. He does amazing work. Goes out and shoots big name bands, Pantera and Deftones, and
Green Day, and his stuff's amazing, but he also does family photography, which has a great twist to it. It's not just your normal run of the mill kind of stuff.
yeah. If you want to go to the beach and put on some khaki shorts and a white shirt, he'll probably do that for you. But
He's gonna make it look dark.
He's got a cool, he has a little different vision, which is why I like using him for band pictures and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Good. So it airs on the 21st, and you've got, now, who's the lineup? You've got, what bands have you recorded already?
That was Fun K Getaway.
Fun K Getaway.
The funk band, and then Daltenius. He does, hard to explain, but he puts a lot of hip hop beats, and
He likes to mix it up. He's got a different little view
Is that a
to it.
local band too?
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's out of Waveland or Bay St. Louis, and so is Zach Perkins. He's coming on.
And they're actually friends. They grew up together, right? Didn't they?
I don't know.
I feel like they went to high school
But
together.
they're also playing on the show together. They're backing each other on the show, which I thought was really cool. They got a cello player, which is something different I like to see.
Yeah, I love the strings. So we have a lot of really good music on the Mississippi Gulf Coast and in the area.
A lot of different types.
A lot of different types of music, a lot of really talented artists. You know, Ocean Springs and even Biloxi are kind of centers for that type of thing. You know, even though there's not music venues, there are a lot of people who are, you know, offering their location as a venue for events and to have music, even if it's outdoors.
Right.
One of the things we're going to do is on the Sun and Sand Film and Music Festival. I hope you guys can get in and maybe record some of that with us.
That would
love
be
to.
great.
Let that be part of one of your future shows, because I mean, we're supposed to have Billy Bob Thornton and his group down here for that.
Oh, heck yeah, I'd love
That'd
to
be
be
a
Billy
good
Bob
guest
Thornton.
for your show.
Oh, yeah.
We have ideas for like certain show ideas that wouldn't really necessarily fit into the normal mold for what we're trying to do with the Red Radio Show. So we've talked of doing like special edition type shows, something that we could work on more relaxed. And so something like that would be good.
Like doing side shows apart from our normal monthly show.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, we could put that on the list.
Yeah.
We'd love to do that.
Okay, so let's back up to when you guys first started doing this. Did you sit down and kind of plan it out and write down your goals and that sort of thing, and then maybe even come up with, you know, how you're going to eventually make money doing this and add an income stream to your family?
Scott and Mitchell both get together and their brains just go into hyperdrive. And so what my job is, I come in with my dry erase board and I create the plan. And I try to take Scott's ideas and turn them into something that's more organized.
Yeah, I need that person too. For sure. But yeah, Mitchell Gruich, our host and partner in crime, me and him, we kick stuff around. And that's kind of, he helped, like I always wanted to do video, but he helped me really make it come to fruition because he's also a co-host on Croncast. So I had a live event come up that I was supposed to do, and since we had COVID around, we couldn't do a live musical show. I got with Mitch, I was like, hey man, you know how to work all the webcams and all that. So I need some help, maybe get a few bands and we'll do this charity event. So poor Mitchell came in and he's like, man, this is really a job for like 20 people. And Mitchell was scrambling, but we made it happen. We had some help from our buddy Diggs Darcy. It was the Jenna Robinson charity fundraiser.
For the ballerina
So that
ball.
really ended up being our first event, and it really came out really good. So we got excited about it.
We were all like, oh my, I guess we can actually do this.
Yeah. So then we decided, well, let's go on and make a drive for it, and we made the first show happen at that point.
Gave it a deadline.
Yeah. So we never really sat down and said, like, it's been an idea for a while, and I've had my little page set up for a couple of years, but it's just kind of been on the back burner. I've just been sharing people's pages and flyers and videos and whatnot.
So what do you guys need? Some sponsors maybe to come in and help?
Yeah, we would love some more sponsors.
Call us if you want to sponsor with the Red Radio Productions, or follow them on Red Radio Productions on Facebook and YouTube, and help us do this. Help us bring a monthly concert of local musicians to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And don't miss next week's edition of Sprout Central. Thank you guys for being on the show.
Thanks for
Come
having
back and
us.
see us.
Thank you so much, man.
Let's meet Dr. Lauren Timmons. Dr. Lauren Timmons, practicing dentistry here in Ocean Springs. Welcome to
Thank you.
the show. Now, let's talk about the machine that allows you to do an implant and a new tooth in one visit.
Okay, there's two parts. There's a 3D X-ray machine, which is relatively new to dentistry. We take a 3D X-ray and we're able to design the implants in a three-dimensional X-ray. And then there is a CEREC machine, which we're able to mill out and design crowns to go on top of those implants.
And so literally a person can break the tooth off, come in, have the tooth extracted, have a new implant put in and the tooth screwed in, and walk out with a new tooth in the same day.
Correct, with the crown on the implant in one visit.
That would have been considered probably a miracle 10 years ago. Right?
Impossible.
Impossible.
Right.
Well, thank you for being here in Ocean Springs with us, and I hope everyone will come to see Dr. Lauren Timmons in Ocean Springs.
Thank you, Ed.